All right, team, I think we're back. Thanks to all of you for jumping across. Sorry for all the struggles there, but hopefully we are sorted now. So I'm going to hand back to you, Sinatemba, and you can take over from there.
All right, can we start?
Yes, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it once again. Apologies for all the technical glitches that we keep having on our side. But we promise that we'll be able to cover the presentation despite the recurring challenges that we keep getting. Part of that is also the video that we've prepared with the team.
Sinatemba, your sound has gone AWOL again. Sorry.
I don't think you can hear us either.
No. Lerata, my feeling is that you need to take the steering wheel here. Sorry.
Happy to
And
do
somebody
that.
needs to send Sinatemba a message that we can't hear him. We can see him perfectly, but there's definitely an issue on his side. Sorry about that.
Okay, please just let me know if you can see my screen, right? So that I can just move along.
Yeah, perfect. We can see you perfectly and hear you perfectly.
Okay, awesome. So let me see. No, this is the incorrect slide. Just give me a minute. This is August. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So it is loading from my end. I just wanted to confirm, then I can just move ahead. So as Sinatemba did mention, we will be running a game where at the end of the presentation, we'll just announce who is the winner. And I just want to test if the video plays. If it does, even better. If not, I think I'll also move ahead. I'll just take it from there. Let me try the video.
We can't hear the video from our side.
But I am not on mute. I think just going forward, because it's going to waste more time, I think I'll just get to the presentation. So as SNG Grant Thornton, we have quite a lot of offices. We are recognized globally in America, in Africa, in Europe, Middle East, and Asia Pacific. So moving along, these are the clients, the type of clients that we have. We do have quite a lot, which is telecommunications, which is Yabalo Logistics, which is APSA, and. Can you guys see my screen? Can I proceed? Please just
100%.
confirm quickly. Okay, awesome. I think that is a wise comment that I can see on the side, where one just says that maybe we can share the video a bit later on. So moving along, we also approach CSR, which is mainly where employees just volunteer to donate quite stuff, whether it can be food or clothes, and then we donate to one of the charities that are around us. And moving along, this is how a life of a trainee looks like at SNG Grant Thornton. So we will be just supporting you throughout your academic support, which is ITC, APC, and just ensuring that we get you the continuous learning and development throughout your articles. So there will be quite a lot of training and mentorship programs. So we are also as mentioned, offering secondment opportunities across all our offices that we have, which is in the US, UK, Ireland, and Australia. So I will also be introducing my colleague, who is Tandiwe, just to take us through her life of a journey and climbing the ladder to the management position. Tandiwe, you can go from your end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lerato, and also thank you to Mopop for the opportunity for us to present ourselves. As already introduced, I am Tandiwe Ngweme, and I'm a manager at SNG Grant Thornton. I have been a manager for 2 years now. So I started my articles in 2020 with SNG. So basically, Katlego and I have the difficult part of this presentation, which is to take you guys through and actually to sort of paint a picture of what SNG looks like and what being part of the SNG Grant Thornton family would eventually look like for our prospective candidates. So the first bit of my presentation is to sort of paint the picture of why exactly I'm sitting where I'm sitting, how I put on the manager blazer at this stage. So obviously I would have come in, and obviously my journey as well is quite different from Katlehos because I'm in FSG. So we deal with a lot of your financial services entities, and also we sort of get seconded to some of the other divisions within the firm that deal with financial services as well. So we dabble in between the firm, which is a great part and an upside to being an FSG team member, and hoping that Katlego might up me on that one when she does her general assurance one. So what you can actually expect in terms of being part of the SNG Grant Thornton team as a trainee, or your day-to-day life looks at obviously coming in, you'll get your induction, which is obviously run by the HR department. You'll get onboarded into the firm, so you'll get to see all the different processes or the different systems that we use. So obviously as a trainee coming in 2020, it was quite weird because I had to do my articles, or my first year of articles during COVID. So it was still trying to get accustomed to the whole virtual meetings, virtual setting that was, and then we had our virtual induction. And then 2 weeks later, we then came in, and then we had to do working papers, and then we had to meet clients, and we had to meet the rest of the team. Fortunately or unfortunately for me, depending on how you see it, my first client was a banking entity. And then I was put into an audit called the Reg 46 audit, which is a regulatory audit under banking. Obviously, you can imagine that at that time, all you know is what ISA say and what IFRS say, and obviously from your journey in school, you don't get to necessarily interact with the practical aspect of it up until you actually get to see a set of financials and a working paper, and you have a manager calling you to tell you this is how you sample and this is how you put together a working paper. But essentially, that's what your first day or your first couple of weeks look like. Then into second year, you then get built into more significant sections. So you start looking at more judgmental aspects. You start dealing with clients on a day-to-day basis, as opposed to first year when all you did was do sampling and and more of the easier bits of stuff. So now you're expected to engage with the client. Then obviously on your third year, you start running engagements. And I think this is the most difficult bit that I had to face. So to cover my challenges as well was the third year bit of my articles, where the expectation was just more than just coming into the office, doing the working papers and showing up, but it was also playing into the role and adding value to the firm and to those that come under you as well. So that's the most exciting bit about my journey and how I made it into being a manager. And what a few of you guys can expect when coming into SNG. I think one of the biggest questions that we always have to answer, and I think Katlego as well will also answer in her presentation, is what exactly sets us apart as SNG from all the other firms, right? Obviously, we don't have an experience of all the other firms. I've been at SNG for 5 years, so my only experience of articles would be in SNG. But from my peers and everything, the biggest part is that our culture in SNG is centered around collaboration, and part of our values is that. And you can't really collaborate if you don't necessarily work in the team. So you actually get to have a lot more team-based work within the audit. So your managers are present, so you get training directly from the managers themselves, although you've got seniors that will come before you and have more experience on the client themselves, but it's first-hand training, and it's specific to the individual as well. And part of the greater things of the teams that we create at SNG is that as a manager, I'm able to see what kind of trainees I work with and be able to address the specific requirements and needs of the trainee. So if you are a trainee that prefers to be left to work independently and then check in and with a little bit of guidance, versus a trainee that requires a whole lot more guidance at the beginning of the audit and then you let them sail the boat themselves, we are able to identify that. We're able to identify characteristics within trainees, and you are able to then be paired with managers that can enhance that of you. We are able to then pair you off into engagements that target your specific strengths as well, and also help in engaging in your weaknesses and growing those too. So I think that's part of the bigger things that set us apart as SNG, because we can actually do that on an individual basis, right? And the types of clients that we are exposed to are one that speak to us on a day-to-day basis. I mean, most of the clients that I came into weren't clients that I would have experienced outside of the audit space, but one of my clients, my banking client in my second year, was a bank specifically created for the mining industry. That speaks to us as individuals in the societies that we live in. And that's the greater part about SNG, is that we tap into that client base. So it's easier for us to actually engage. It's easier for us to understand the business, easier for us to interact with the client as well, which opens us doors for our trainees, opens up doors for us as well, and also business for the firm as well. So in a nutshell, that's basically the bigger part and the greater part of being part of the SNG family. And then another question, and I know that people would normally ask, as in FSG, what types of industry can one expect to be part of when, if you were to join SNG Grant Thornton? So I'll speak specifically on the FSG side. We have clients in the banking industry, we have insurance industry, we have retirement funds. We recently got accredited to do medical aid schemes. This is part of it's a passion project for me, because I was part of the people that sort of did the application for us to be able to work with medical aid schemes. So that's also a fun project that we are currently working on. So that's part of the industries that one can expect to engage with when in FSG. And then the last bit of my presentation actually covers the highs of my journey. I think I covered quite a bit of it at the beginning of my presentation, but in terms of what I experienced on an individual basis, right, so I spoke to how the firm allows one to engage with their strengths and to enhance their weaknesses. Part of my high is also being part of the projects, some of the few projects that we have on the firm, which speak to the standardization project that we do in terms of making sure that we've got a standardized system across all the insurance department, So what we do there is we sit down and we look at the standard, we look at our methodology, and we sort of create working papers or a system that allows both general assurance and FSG to sort of use one project, which has actually been a high in my journey because it's part of the strength, and it taps into my love for teaching, my love for auditing, and with that, my bosses then acknowledge that this was something that was a strength that I had within me, and then they enhanced that, and we created the project called Project Harmonics, and this is how we then showcase each other's strengths, and we are then able to build into the quality of the firm. Without going deeper into my journey, I think I'll hand back to the HR team, and then I'll also respond to the chat as it goes through.
Thank you so much, Thandiwe. I think we can also move along to Katlego, just to take us through your journey as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Lerato. Good afternoon. Once again, I'm Katlego Maruma, and I'm an audit manager in the general assurance. My journey was a little bit different. So I was an academic trainee before I joined SNG. So my first year I spent at the university, and then I joined in my second year, or as a second year rather. So before becoming a manager, I guess I had about around 18 months of audit experience. So I guess the good thing here is that starting my articles elsewhere did not limit me to where I am now, right? So over and above what my colleague mentioned on the day of a trainee, once you join SNG, you get allocated a mentor that is able to assist you in your journey as a trainee. You get to do a lot of trainings to enhance your knowledge. You get to work with different teams, different personalities, and so forth. My experience as a manager, I've been a manager for just about 6 months now. It's very different from being a trainee because now you handle multiple clients at a time, you deal with different teams and so forth. In my division, we mainly our client portfolio is quite big. What I've been assigned to includes mining industry, hospital industry, manufacturing, unions. So we have a quite a range, and I think that's what I liked about SNG. For me to join SNG, I liked that there's diversity in terms of clients. So you get more exposure into different clients, their systems, and so forth. My highs, I would say, I think just the support structure. So I came into SNG with ITC already. So when I joined, I had to, in my second year rather, I did my APC. Just the support around it that they offered me, I was able to pass my APC first time. And even just the experience, meeting the different clients, working with different team members, it really helped with my growth as an individual and as a team member here at SNG. There were many interesting moments from overtime to audit lunches, some activities that are planned by the firm for our wellness. There's just a lot that really contributed to my journey as to a manager and what led to me wanting to stay at SNG. Right. Part of my presentation also is just to give, I guess, or explain how I managed to balance studying and also being a trainee. So I actually repeated CTA. So I did CTA first time 2020 and then again 2021. So from there, I then went to write ITC and then APC. So when I started doing my APC, that's when I experienced working and studying at the same time. So it was very interesting, but I really got the support from my managers, my directors, my mentor also, because there are a lot of people who went through the same journey. So I was able to get advice, assistance in terms of balancing, But I think the one thing that maybe sticks out for me, or that I feel like assisted me a lot, is just having confidence in my work. Because I used to be anxious a lot when it came to books. I think I just feared failure. I think it's normal. I don't know. But yeah, so I used to struggle with being anxious and all of that. So what assisted me is just working on the confidence, and believing that whatever I studied for, I know it, I will pass whatever it is. But yeah, and also just managing your time. Normally as a trainee, you get one client only. Maybe when you're in your third year, you can have about two. But time management is a skill that will definitely be sharpened. And yeah, that was me. I basically took it as if I had two jobs. From 8 to 5, I was at SNG. After 5, I was studying. That was my second job. But yeah, that's basically my journey as a trainee to a manager. And then if there are any questions, I'll just respond on the chat Thank you, Lerato.
It looks like Lerato is frozen on her side.
Is
Maybe
Lerato still there? Lerato,
She-
are you still there?
Looks like she's frozen my side, Senatemba. So maybe now that we've got sound from you, you could take the stage.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I'm so sorry for all the technical glitches for the fourth time. Lerato, I see you back. I don't know if you want to conclude the presentation, then I can come in towards the latter part.
Senatemba, thank you so much. And apologies once again for just the technological glitch. So one can apply for training contract with SNG Grant Thornton via just going through our website, or alternatively, you can scan the below QR code and just ensure that you attach your CV, your ID copy, your matric certificate, and your full academic transcript, and then ensure that you upload your 2025 proof of registration as well. So we are also on social media. If you want to connect with the firm, we are on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We also are on TikTok as well. I can see that our slide is not really updated, but we are also on TikTok. So when you search under SNG Grant Thornton, something will pop up. And then should you also need feel that you need to reach out to the team, you can just send an email to sng.recruitment@snggt. So we will be taking the questions and we'll just take it from there. Back to you, Senatemba. Thank you.
Awesome. That's if I'm still here. That's if the connection is still, working in my favor. I see that someone is asking how long does the recruitment process take? Our recruitment process is pretty straightforward. So you pretty much apply, which Lerato has touched on. You put together your CV, your transcript, your matric result, as well as your identification documents. You upload it into our portal, which you can access by visiting snggrantthornton.co.za, right? Then from there on, the team will start the screening, which can take up to a week and a half maximum after you've applied. And then from there on, you would be booked for an interview. Now, the interviewing process, how does that work? In the interview, you will find that there will be a people and culture representative together with a manager who sits within the audit division, which is our assurance division, and which our assurance division is separated between general assurance and financial services group. I think you would have heard Tandiwa mention that she's from the financial services group, Katleho being from the general assurance division. So typically you would have an HR person together with those managers. And then from there on, the questions which we do ask at that interview set up, one, we ask your soft questions to assess whether or not you'd be a fit into the organization. But not only that, we then start to ask you some technical questions related to your technical competence as well as problem solving skills. Then from there on, we decide as a panel whether we'd like to extend you an offer or not, to which then the team would then send you a provisional contract 2 or 3 days after your interview date. All right. The provisional contract basically says, I have the intention of hiring you at SNG Grant Thornton as a trainee, but it is subject to you passing your CTA. All right. Then towards the latter part of the year, we then wait for each and every one of you to submit your CTA transcript to confirm whether or not you've been successful. Then from there on, we start to send out actual employment contracts, which have your salary and all the details. All right. So then I know what the next question will be. The next question will be, what if I don't pass? I always say that to graduates, it's better you focus your energy in passing, because what that does is it guarantees you a seat in the graduate program. Because what we do is we first prioritize those that have passed. If it so happens that our numbers are not met, Then we start to look at candidates who have supplementary exams, and then we then look at candidates who have been quite successful. All right, but I can tell you now, just from looking at our data from previous years, like last year we managed to offer graduates who have passed and those that had supplementary exams, and our numbers were filled. So you're better off putting in your best foot forward, putting in those extra hours to make sure that you pass your CTA. All right. Is there any other question that I may have missed that you'd like me to address?
Hi, Snatemba. There
Sure.
are two questions on the chat. I've been looking at the chat. One is to me and one is to Katlego. To the one, okay, there's one that says, at Tandiwe, what would you say is the thing that accelerated you being an audit manager so quickly, and what qualities or characteristics set you apart from the other trainees? And then the second one I'm seeing is to Katlego, that says, would you recommend someone to start out as an academic trainee before going into actual audit? What advantages and disadvantages does that decision have? So I'll start with mine and then I'll hand over to Katlego, and then I'll read the other HR questions after. So mine is how I became an audit manager so quickly, and what characteristics set me apart from other trainees. I think this is the same thing we always say to trainees when they come in at the beginning of the year, right? That the journey is yours. If you come in with an idea and you come in with a set goal and priority in terms of what you want and what you want to achieve at the end of your articles, that is what you work towards. So a lot of the things that people miss when they get into their jobs or to get into this kind of job is that they want to be like the next person. Yes, I was a hardworking trainee. Yes, I always availed myself. That's what set me apart, I guess. I was always available for the job, and I always worked hard. I made sure that I met all my deadlines, and I had very good communication with my bosses, not just my managers, but also my partners as well. So I reached out. So it wasn't necessarily a thing that I always stuck to. I'm only speaking to the audit senior, or I'm just a first year trainee, so I'm only supposed to do this. But because I always wanted to learn and I was always eager. And unfortunately, when you're in financial services, you really don't have the luxury to just relax and wait for someone to teach you something, right? You have to take initiative, because as much as I can come and teach you what a Banks Act requires, and what happens if I give you a set of financials for an insurance industry, for example, and I tell you, tie this to the QRT, and I explain to you how that works, you have to go above and beyond to understand and fully grasp what is actually required of you. I can do my part by teaching you what to do and give you all the resources, but it won't help you if you don't take the initiative to learn past what I'm teaching you, right? So that's what set me apart, because when I wasn't understanding anything, I was able to reach out to my bosses. That doesn't necessarily work for everyone, right? But it's always having the goal in mind. If that's where you want to end up, if you want to become an audit manager, that's what you do. From day one, you set yourself apart and you tell yourself that at the end of 3 years, I'm going to become an audit manager. And that's what you do. You pick the qualities that you want coming out from you. You build the kind of brand that you want your directors and your managers to be able to see, and you invest in it. If you don't invest in it, then I can't see it. So if you're going to come in and then you're going to say, they're going to see me, I'm just going to do my job and that's it. But if you don't live it in that manner and you don't build into that brand, then you can't sell yourself to me, and I can't see that. And that's also a bigger part of being a trainee, is that you have to be able to invest in your goals as much as you expect me to invest in them. And then I can hand over to Katlego on the second question.
Thank you, Tandiwe. Hi, Sanelise. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I think it depends on you and your goals or career plan. So I wanted to become an academic trainee because it sort of aligned with what I wanted to do. I'd say the advantage is that it sharpened my knowledge as a trainee, and it helped build my confidence because I had to step out of my zone a lot, stand in front of a class and speak. So when I came to SNG, it was not as difficult to interact with clients or the team or the manager. And to a certain extent, it also, because now I had a deep understanding, it sort of assisted me with asking the right questions to the client, to the manager. I would not say there is a disadvantage. I think maybe the challenge is that it becomes your responsibility to catch up because I want to say you're sort of regarded as a first year for like 3 months when you join the firm, and then from there you're seen as a second year. So obviously you wouldn't have that first year experience like a normal trainee who joined from their first year. So it would be your responsibility, I guess, to catch up, to ask for more exposure because you wouldn't have been exposed to what normal first years were exposed to, and just to be proactive, ask questions, so that just remains on you. But yeah, I would highly recommend personally.
Nida, I had a disclaimer. You obviously, the process of applying for academic traineeship is you pretty much get the documentations from SAICA and all of that. Your training office in the university has to, one, approve or approve your application. Number two, you then send it to us as your employer. We rally in our training office, who is a bridge between us and SAICA. We have a look at whether does this, is it productive for us as a firm in terms of headcounts? We don't want all our trainees, as academic trainees, right? Because there's also audits on the job that need to be executed. So it is quite a robust process. I still remember Katleho's application, which, came in years ago. But yeah, it's something that the firm does support and encourage. But unfortunately, we cannot approve everyone because there's only a certain number that we can accommodate. To Tandiwe's point, we do have audits to execute. We are tight deadlines, work environments. And so that also needs to be kept in mind as we journey. All right. Is there any other question?
Yes, there are. It's quite a bit. When do applications close?
The straight answer is applications don't close. We only close when applications are full. So we keep them open until the later part of December. But I would encourage that you apply as soon as possible to ensure that numbers don't get filled up. I think the team, Lerato, Kumuzo, have been working quite tirelessly to make sure that interviews are done on a daily basis. And so our numbers for 2026 are rather looking quite promising. So I would anticipate that by end of October, end of November latest, those numbers would have been met and applications will be closed. So I encourage you today to visit our website and submit your applications. Any other question?
What does the process for someone with prior experience look like, and how does that applicant go about applying for that?
Okay.
It's the RPL question.
It's the RPL question.
Yeah.
In the past, we used to recognize RPL, but we don't recognize RPL anymore. Coming in, you would have to start as a first year altogether. We don't recognize RPL at SNG Grant Thornton because we found in the past that it does then create a huge gap in terms of your competency level and one, understanding our audit methodologies. It then creates a problem within audits where you find someone maybe sitting at a second year level, but they're still operating as a first year. So the firm then decided from there on that we will not recognize our prior learning. So everyone starts at a first year level. Thank you. Any other question?
Okay. Then we've got, is it possible to apply to SNG after articles at another firm? Which position do I apply for? And are the positions available at any time of the year, or is there a specific time when SNG is applying?
You can take that one, Tandiwe.
Yes, right?
Yeah,
September.
yes, they can
Yes, you
apply. They
can.
can.
I think
As
we
a
have
manager.
a portal, as
Yeah.
a manager or a consultant in some of the departments. I think there is a portal now, SNG Grant Thornton, under vacancies. You should be able to see applicable or available vacancies at the time. And then I'm trying to sift, some of them are quite similar. So we've already answered questions around taking in students that don't have CTA and those that want to apply, whether they have or don't have their PGDA. Okay, does SNG consider applications for students not taking the cycle route, for example, internal audit students?
Yeah, we
I
do.
did reply. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Snetemba. So I
Yeah.
did reply to Nasip just to say that we do have advisory opportunities. They can just check our website. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if you've replied to this one. In terms of my favorite one, are trainees granted the opportunity to rotate between divisions during articles in preparation for APC? And Katlego?
I wouldn't know, but I think no.
I'll take it. I'll take it. It's fine. No, so you don't rotate. You stay within the division that you've been appointed in. However, what you do get is quite a diverse portfolio in terms of clients. So you can move, especially in general assurance, you can move from, auditing a client that's in logistics to aviation to mining, etc., small, medium, large, etc. But you won't find that you can move from tax to FSG, then from FSG to general assurance. We don't apply that model purely because it's a graduate program. We feel that at a graduate program, you must be learning as much as you can to try and, understand the fundamentals. Then from there on, if you still want to get exposure in tax and other divisions, then after articles, the world is your oyster. The firm doesn't restrict you. You can join whatever department you want to join in, subject to the department having, available spots/vacancies and progression there.
Can I add to that, Ms. Natemba?
Sure.
Sometimes in the jobs that we do, so you'll find that in an audit, one of the audits that I was on, you get assisted by the various divisions. So then that's how you get exposure to the others. So I've done projects where I assisted the tax team in terms of calculating the tax in a specific bank we were auditing. So because of the expertise and the regulatory aspect that came with that, we required input from that. But because it was also an audit we were signing off, in that as well, we also had the CFR team assisting. So because the information had to come from our side, we then, as the FSG team, were required to be engaged in the valuations that were done there. I've also done quite a bit of valuations myself because it was within the banking industry. So it's not necessary that you will jump within the division, but you'll be put on engagements that allow you to explore all the other divisions within that that are required, obviously audit specific as well. Per engagement, yeah.
I think we have a question, Tandiwe, for Rihanzu. Yes. You can go ahead, Rihanzu. Thank you.
Hi, good day. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Well, I've applied for 2027, right? I want to understand what the process is. Is it run in parallel with the 2026, or will the process start after the 2026 intake? Will I have to reapply in 2026 if that is the case? Also, I'm currently working, which is why I can only start in 2027. Does SNG buy out? Because my current employer is paying for my studies and I have a 2-year work back period, but obviously I can't stay for 2 years after my CTA because there's also deadlines with the APC and thank you.
Thank you. So, Sinetemba, do you want to advise on the part where the firm buys out? And then I think I'll just take the second question where that you did apply on our website. So definitely we will take you through our process, right? We will definitely screen, just that in the meantime, we were busy just finalizing Tutuka recruitment. And we were also busy with just the career phase season ending, but we will definitely take you through the process. So by, let's say, next month, you should know where you stay with the firm. Thank you.
Yeah, and also some of our response emails sometimes may go to spam because our screening is quite updated. You won't have to wait over a month generally. Max it will be a month and a half, after your application. But sometimes you find that, the screening and the feedback that you get from Simplify, you find that may potentially go into your spam folder. But do also just double check, depending what mailbox you use and what domain that mailbox uses. Was there any other question that I was meant to answer?
Yes, I
Final
asked about the
question.
buyout.
The buyout of another audit firm? No, we don't do that. We don't buy out trainees. We only do it like at that. We only do such things at executive levels. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. From us, I think once again we'd like to apologize for all the technical glitches that we've had this morning. I think IT has some answering to do post this call because it was quite a bumpy ride for us. But nonetheless, we were able to share in all things SNG Grant Thornton. Like I said in the beginning, we've got a standing relationship with Mopark and would like to keep it that way, particularly because what we do find is most of the graduates that transition from Mopark to SNG Grant Thornton, integrate quite easily in the firm purely because of one, the similarities in terms of culture of the school as well as the organization, as well as the teaching style. Because obviously for us, it's a training program that we have at SNG Grant Thornton. So what that means is you'll be exposed to a number of lectures as well, or teaching master classes and stuff. So it's quite similar in that you will find that most of our Mopark graduates who are within the firm find this work environments quite enabling, and they flourish in this work environment. And so I'd like to encourage each and every one of you sitting at home, connecting from wherever, to put together that application, the CV, the transcript, the matric results, and ID, upload it into our portal, and then the team will then reach out to you to schedule an interview. If you're unsuccessful, once again, the team will then reach out to you. But otherwise, from us, thank you so much, Mopark. Wishing you everything of the best in terms of your academic performance. Hope to hear from you soon through your applications. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Senator Temba, and thank you to the whole team. It's been lovely to be with you this afternoon. Thanks for overcoming all the challenges and that we got there. And thanks to all the students for moving over with us. It's been really informative and always great to hear about the amazing work that you do and the lovely company that you are. So thanks again. Do you want to close out the lucky draw before we end?
Yes, sure. Lerato, do you want to pull out everyone who's registered and let's do the draw quickly?
Komoto, can you please, so Snetemba, sorry, I think Komoto prepared the whole presentation. Sorry about that. Komoto, can you please assist? Thank you.
Okay, no problem. We'll send all the list to the Mopark organizers. We'll do that. Thank you so much.
Okay, so in other words, we'll leave out the draw to Tracy, Tasneem, and the team for you to share who the winner is, and then we'll send out the prize to you. With the technical glitches, unfortunately, we can't access the form as well. But like I said, IT will be able to help us with all the glitches, but we will reach out to you, and apologies once again. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Have a lovely Friday, everyone, and have a lovely afternoon. Thanks again for your time.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.